What are the top tips for returning players when you're back in the game? Where do you go? What do you do? And indeed, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are indeed having a great day. Now, look, people go away from the game, then they come back. People burn out, then they kind of like reignite their flame with the game. It happens. But look, here's the thing. Over this, what is nearly 8 years of this game, people will float in and float out. They're either casuals, they're either very intensive, they go out, they come back in again. And where are the best places to go? What is the best things to understand? What should you prioritize when it comes to returning back to the game? Let's face it, first of all, you should just check within the game, like, what are the current events that are going on, especially to understand, like, oh, you go like, oh, there's an Eternity of Pain event. Like, what's that all about? There could be other things as well, like a new type of mode that you can go in and play. I mean, Battlegrounds is one that's recently going to be added. It was in for a beta. It'll probably be a permanent one by the time people go away and come back to the game. But it's prioritization, it's structure that's going to be very, very important to any kind of player. And one thing that really kicks off the structure is have targets in place, have goals within the game you want to achieve. And that can really be established, first of all, by going like, what's the current titleage? That's the chase title, chase progression, and what does it give out as a result? After that, one of the best things is to go into an alliance. Being an alliance allows you to either focus on things like Alliance Quest, which can give you some helpful resources. The second thing would be Alliance Wars, if indeed you want to delve into that, but that's a big kind of iffy delve into. I've just recently returned back to this, and it's one of these things where I'm not a massive fan of it, but unfortunately needs must with things like grabbing loyalty for what it gives back from a store perspective. And one of the greatest places you can go to find out information is the forums. If you go in particular to recent discussions, and you can see a lot of things like quality of life updates that Kaban put in there as well. We've got rewards info when it comes to the next season of Alliance Wars, a return of the Grandmaster Gauntlet and figuring out how that factors into things. What is currently the meta of the event? And that is something that's very important. Understanding what your month is going to be like, your first month in game or your returning month, is going to be quite important. Like, is it going to be something like, I'm going to do Cavalier difficulty, I've got to do the side quests, so I've got to figure out like how that particular thing works. Is there something like a special calendar, special shards? Is there going to be anything else when it comes to a point-based system? Anything like that, all that stuff is really handled in the forums. And look, you know, it could be some months where there's a special type of event when just by simply logging in and as well kind of getting involved with the Legend celebration, for example, for this month, it is going to be important for when you return back, just understanding what is coming on for the month, what is gone from the month, what kind of events are going to be similar things that I'm going to see next month. You can also get a sense on the forums of what champions have been, number one, buffed, and also new champions that have come into the game, just by clicking on the champion spotlight section. And especially if you're kind of like a month later, you always get like the ones that are the month before. So like a good example right now is Gallon's out in game, Quicksilver's out in game. There's spotlights, but they don't get filed into champion spotlight section until like the next month, because this is when you see things like Gore the God purchase for July. But the Gallon and Quicksilver ones should technically be in there, but are not. But it gives you that real kind of decent perspective of champions that have, number one, been buffed, that could be in your roster, and that's very important for kind of progressing forward with that and ranking them up. And the second thing being new characters that have been added into this game, so you kind of get yourself like up to date quickly on the champions brought in and the champions buffed. So once being up to date, and as well knowing your meta rewards, because meta rewards, especially for your progression level, is going to be very important. You can get a handle on what is going down in the future, and also getting yourself ready to rank up some champions as well. And at this point, it's all about what I said at the start of the video, and that's all about like your goals, your targets. It's important to do that, because if you lose sight on what you're going to be doing and your structure, you become unstructured, and then it becomes a point of, then it'll put you to a burnout because you're struggling to keep up to date, struggling to kind of like feel intimidated because you've got to keep up. The best thing to do is just set out your own personal goals and don't live by whatever people say you've got to do within the game. Like, take myself for example. I'm non-spending at the moment. I went non-spending at the start of the year. My clear goals are very simple. Now, rejoin an alliance war proactively so that I can get the loyalty to then kind of like get some stuff within the store there. The second thing is to rank up as many champions as possible, getting to Paragon at some point this month, which I've technically done because I've done Eternity of Pain to the milestone that I can do as a Thronebreaker player. The next thing is to do the Grandmaster Gauntlet in the short term. A long-term goal is to get upwards of 30,000 units by the end of the year, or kind of like 18,000 units goes towards getting things in Cyber Weekend, but the other 12,000 is going to be invested into the gifting event, all of which you know, that is the structure for this year for myself. And anything else I want to sandwich in there, like some further champion rank ups, acquisition, and as well on November 1st, trying to get Gallon and Quicksilver. That is what I'm personally interested in doing. And as well, making fun videos based on stuff I personally like to do in game. As you know, it's all about finding your fun, and that's the main thing. Finding your fun, and that's what I kind of like find fun about the game. If you don't find something fun about the game that you're playing, then there's nothing really to kind of like make you kind of continue on. So structure, goals, and yeah, targets, all of the same thing, but all of them important to you personally of what you want to achieve. Yeah, from a returning player's point of view, the world is your oyster within MCOC. At this point in time, like as I'm recording this video, I'm auto fighting in lower difficulty in order to try and get some units from like 100%ing, but also not so far because I do try and like make sure I've got enough kind of saved up energy wise, or not energy wise, but kind of like process wise to get myself event quest completion when it rolls up. But as well, like just kind of like mention, create a list like on screen, like now, like this is like pretty untidy, but this is like a general list that I kind of like just write down things I've just got to do in MCOC. Some stuff I forgot to even mention whilst recording these segments in the video, like some rank 3s that I'm going to be making, some 6-star rank 3s, because ranking up for 5 stars is just not in my kind of like interest anymore. Organize my crystals because they're a mess. Organize my signature stones because they're a mess. Grandmaster Gauntlet, EOP, which I've done. I think I did it the weekend. But in any case, like yeah, like saving up for the Gallon and Quicksilver crystals on 1st of November. Buy things at the Happy Camper Store. 18k units by Cyber Weekend. Further 12k units extra by the 30th of December. So as I said, it's all about creating structure, a list, some goals, set out what you want to achieve, and I got to be honest. As soon as you come back to game and as soon as you've done some of these things, you will just get right back into it very, very easily. Information of things that I've said in this video should be in the description down below. And yeah, good luck if you're returning back to the game, and don't feel intimidated that you need to catch up. Do the game at your own pace, because other times you'll just get following other people's expectations, and it's just not cool. Just kind of like always do what you fancy doing, and rank up champions you feel are good, play about with them, see where they function, and you know, just get some opinions from other people as well. So that's been a video. Thank you very much for watching. Check out some other stuff which should be located on screen right now, whether or not it's going to be new or older content. But yeah, cheers everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.